callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer stories. We start with Alex Collado, as it has been reported that Barcelona are set to terminate the contract of the 24-year-old La Masia graduate, according to Gerard Romero. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Sergiño Dest, as it has been reported that the Barcelona defensive duo's future will be decided after pre-season. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Having allowed Samuel Umtiti to leave the club with a letter of freedom recently, Barcelona are set to terminate the contract of another of their players in the form of Alex Collado, according to Gerard Romero. The 24-year-old La Masia graduate will be back at the club after having completed his loan spell at Elche. It was far from a memorable stint for Collado, as he had to deal with injuries while he was not always a regular in the side. As such, the Barcelona loanee finished last season with only 17 appearances in which he managed a goal and one assist. Given that he has no place in Xavi Hernandez's plans at Barca and the club needs to lower their salary mass, the writing has been on the wall for a while now as far as Collado's future has been concerned. However, finding suitors, especially those who would be willing to pay any transfer fee to secure his services, has not been easy so far. There has been some interest from clubs in Spain and Greece, but no concrete movement has been made yet. Given the delays in player exits, Barca have had to hold back on their transfer plans thus far. As such, the Catalans have decided to go ahead and terminate Collado's contract and give up an opportunity to receive any transfer fee. His exit would help reduce the wage bill, even though it will not be by a big margin. The player could be on his way out of the club before the end of this week. He would depart having made only two senior appearances for Barcelona. Of course, Alex Collado has been one of those players that, have showed great talent when playing for the La Masia, for the B side, but it has just been unfortunate that things have not gone well for Collado, to play for the first team. Not many have always have that luck to, be integrated to the first team and succeed. Collado, who was so bright, in the B team, Barca brought him, integrated him to the first team, but he wasn't playing and they had to be loaning him out to several La Liga clubs season by season. And from the look of things have taken a serious twist as Barcelona now see Collado as he's just occupying space in the club's wage bill without being having importance. And they want to do the same thing that they did with Umtiti. Some few days ago, we quite remember Samuel Umtiti's contract has been terminated, mutually terminated. They offer the player a letter of freedom. And of course, that also is a huge relief in Barca's wage books, as Umtiti, who was receiving high wages, is no more a Barca player. Of course, Alex Collado, who was playing at Elche on loan this past season, of course, also had a lot of injury problems. And definitely, you don't expect Xavi to call him to play for first team next season, right? Because there's a lot of competition in midfield, by the way. Alex Collado being a midfielder himself, it hasn't been working for Alex Collado since leaving the La Masia, despite the potential, the talents that he showed. As they always say, many are called, but few are chosen. So Barcelona normally needs to sell players. We know that there are players that need to be sold in order to balance the books, in order to comply with the wage rules in La Liga. And it can't happen. It can't be successful if players aren't sold, and players who need their contract to be terminated. Barca don't hesitate to do such because it also helps the club to remove their name from the wage bill. So let's see what happens in the next few days. Barcelona are into serious issues in terms of player registration. Players like Ilkay Gundogan, since signing Ilkay, which is the only signing so far for Barca, they haven't still registered a player. And if Barca are not careful, a lot of these issues will start coming up. That is why so far Barca are unable to sign any single player because there are a lot of things that they need to balance, like selling some of these players, these out of favor players, players who were on loan, and Javi doesn't want to integrate them. They are also players that Barca can sell. So, of course, a lot of issues. So, registration have always been an issue for Barca for the last 2 seasons, and nobody wants it to repeat itself. That is why they have to do first in order to secure exits for certain players that the manager does not see as favor to play for the team next season. Of course, players like Ada Güler, Barca have been hunting him. Yesterday, there were even reports that the president and Alemany went to Madrid to La Liga headquarters to inform them about Ada Güler's potential registration and how La Liga will cope with it. So let's see how it will go for Alex Collado. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, according to journalist Ashraf Ben Ayed, Barcelona's idea for Sergiño Dest and Julian Araujo is for them to do pre-season, only after which their futures will be decided. The Blaugrana are expected to go on a selling spree this season, and for that matter, defender Samuel Umtiti has already been released, while Clement Lenglet is close to moving to Tottenham Hotspur on a permanent deal. As for Dest, whose market valuation is 10 million euros, it was earlier reported that the team would want to finalize his transfer by this week, but Ben Ayat has now reported otherwise. It must be noted that Dest spent the previous season on loan at AC Milan, and the Serie A side had included an option for permanent purchase for 20 million euros. Considering his performances, however, they decided not to bet on the player. At this moment, Dest's market value is extremely low, and above all, there are no suitors willing to make a move in the first place. Even if someone decides to come up with an offer, Barcelona just cannot expect to make 10 million euros from a sale. As far as Araujo is concerned, the 21-year-old is yet to play a single minute for the senior team ever since moving to Barca in February this year. In turn, reports have emerged that Eredivisie giants Feyenoord are very much interested in signing the right back. As reported before, Feyenoord have drawn up a list of three potential right backs, namely Joshua Brunet of FC Twente, Hugo Secret of Standard Liège, and Barcelona's Julian Araujo. They understand any move for Brentford and Secret will take a significant financial pump, while it will not be the same case with Araujo. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.